Hey friends, it's Nitya with Kharma Khameleon, joining you today to talk about all things Chinese astrology, flying stars, feng shui, and the feng shui practice. And I am so happy to be seeing you. I feel like I need to apologize. I just finished my first year as director of a yoga preschool, and and I'm about to head into summer yoga camp. And summertime, it's a busy time of year, and I so am looking forward to fall and doing so much more with this channel. So thank you for keeping up with me. And if this is something you're interested in, please subscribe, like, and feel free to put something in the comments, especially if there's a celebrity that you would like to see their chart done. So I was just going through the news and saw that Madonna had been in the ICU for some kind of bacterial infection. And I remember a couple of years ago, I think it was, that she had a hip replacement. I think before that, this year, she was called out for her puffy face. I guess she's had some injections to look younger than her 60-some-year-old self, which makes me sad. I myself embrace the gray, embrace the wrinkles, embrace being at the age that I am. So Madonna's born August 16th, 1958. We're going to adjust her time back an hour for daylight savings time to 6:05 a.m. She is born in the year of a Yang Earth dog, the month of Yang Metal Monkey, and the day of Yin Wood Ox, and the hour of Yin Earth Rabbit. So right off the bat, there's not, interestingly enough, a whole lot of interaction with her barnyard of animals, as I call it, her four pillars. But what I would say is there's some very telltale things about this woman. She's definitely a material girl, and she is definitely somebody that doesn't want to slow down. We're going to talk about all this in a second. So, what I will say is being born in the year of the dog, and remembering that the dog is like your overarching flavor. You know, it's like, you know, the overarching theme of your life, yourself. And then the day is specifically you, right? Now I myself am born on the day of an ox. Ox people are extraordinarily hardworking. I would venture to guess that ox and dog are probably head to head with who can exhaust themselves first with doing too much. Now, the dog is the savior in the Chinese astrology. The dog is the one that says, I'm here to save the world. I'm here to adopt children that I feel like I'm saving, for instance, or I am going to right the wrongs of the world, and I'm going to bring justice where there is injustice, things like that. And the ox is so hardworking. So the two together really speak to somebody that is going to do all of those things about injustices and righting the wrongs and all that stuff with so much energy and passion and total, like, in it to win it. I will go until the job is done. And by the time the job's done, I'll have something else to work on, because why? I cannot slow down. Yeah. Now, we also know that when you put the earth animals, dragon, ox, sheep, and dog together, it is like a banging up of mountains. It's like a whole lot of earth energy banging up against each other. And this is called a punishment or a penalty that she has with herself year and day. And this shows somebody that it could be expressed in her family dynamic, her own personal family dynamic, right? Or her greater family dynamic, like her parents and siblings, cousins, and whatnot. This speaks of somebody that is living in a pretty consistent, constant throughout her life situation where there are intense stresses. And these are stressful situations within her family dynamic that are causing her health issues. I mean, what is any of our illnesses but stress related? Unprocessed emotions, situations we find ourselves in where we fall victim to having to survive them. Okay, whether it's a toxic marriage or an abusive family situation growing up, all the different things, all the stories. So we see that. And again, there really aren't any other dynamics going on. When you look at her hour, which is her career, we see yin earth rabbit. Well, the rabbit is her. As a yin wood person, rabbit is her animal, right? So in her work, she is bringing herself. This is who I am, and I'm showing up. This is somebody that wants to collaborate, partner, work with people, be with people, her audience, right? It is also, the yin earth speaks of somebody that makes money and brings in money from various aspects, whether it's acting, singing, writing books, all the things. And it also shows a measure of passion that she brings into this. Of all the placement of animals in her chart, the most energy is being directed to her children and her career. Now, for her children, she really shows up as a father figure to her sons, and they benefit from her love and also from her wealth. Her daughter, I believe she is, she's got more than one. Her daughters, it's like a bouquet of flowers. They are, a sweet friendship, a bond that is so, so sweet. And then when we look at her partner, we also find yin earth. Her day pillar branch of the yin wood is sitting on top of the ox. And this is a controlling situation because wood covers the earth. And as wood covers the earth, it controls it. So this is a controlling situation. There's a father figure in here, which oddly enough, I think that she's dated men younger than herself, when actually she's looking more towards, at least in her chart, somebody that's older. There's money, there's love, there's infidelity. There is also at the root of this, there is some real challenges with her relationships. The risk of it being damaging or critical, or the guy is really just stubborn, obstinate, difficult to deal with. These are the people that she is most likely to draw to her, as this is what is in her astrology. And what is your astrology but your soul's contract to come in at exactly the day and time to have this experience in this earth plane as a human being. And within this relationship, her romantic relationships also ultimately have a spiritual element and also a teachable quality. And so that's kind of interesting. I don't actually know if she's dating anyone at this current now time. Don't know what was her home life growing up, but her parents, both yang metal, sitting on top of monkey, which is yang metal. Parents were all about family life, taking care of responsibilities and duties, very much feeling like that nest. And her mother does have some components of maternal nurturing that are rooted down in there, not overt, but down there. And then we look at what is her current luck cycle. And her current luck cycle is in 2021, she came into her most current cycle of yin, water, ox. Now, when we look at her elements, the 5 elements, as a wood person, she's strong, 25%, but she's got no water. I mean, it's like a slow drip at 6% water. So this is somebody that's thirsty. That would be probably the number 1 element that I would suggest for her is metal with water. Metal with water. To live someplace like a city on the water, like New York City, for instance, or London on the Thames, or Paris on the Seine, something, where you're in a city environment, those high-rise buildings that give you that metal element, but also bringing in the quality of water, and especially wild water. So what her output is, interestingly enough, she hardly has any fire, just 2%. Her earth is very strong at 36%, and her metal is strong at 31%. So this is someone who's, what she controls and what controls her is the real focus, along with herself and her circle, her audience. But the impetus to have output of energy is very weak. It's almost like, when you skip the choreography and go straight to the dance. So this might be someone that it really takes a lot out of her to get herself motivated and moving into projects, and the need for water. So it's great when we see a luck cycle that comes in that's giving you the element that you most need. That's awesome. And this year is also yin water. So we've got the current luck cycle plus this year, both giving her surges of water. This is bringing in outside resources. Like, for instance, if she was looking for, somebody to back a project or things like that. Outside resources are available. Or if she was moving and getting funding for something. It's also a time of learning and a deeply spiritual time if she were going down that road. So the luck cycle being yin, water, ox shows these 2 oxen going head to head, and that can really be detrimental to her personal welfare and her health. I'm trying to remember if she had the hip replacement in 2020 or 2021, but if it was 2021, that would make perfect sense, because with this dynamic, it is literally as if she were at war with herself. It's like, I don't know if you've ever seen certain animals, when you put up a mirror, they literally will attack the mirror, right? So it's something kind of like that. It's, I would say, a challenge time from 2021 to 2031, because these are decade-long luck cycles. They're not always lucky, in which having a romantic relationship is going to be very challenged. A lot of butting heads, literally butting heads. And she's butting heads with herself as well. There's a lot of potential conflict. I know that she had to cancel her tours over the hip replacement. She's canceling her tour that was supposed to begin now because of this bacterial infection that landed her in the ICU, which means that it was life-threatening. So the current year that we're in is yin wood, which is her own element, again, because it's the rabbit. So this is really a year for her of self-reflection. If you want to go the groovy route, the way that I would personally take it for myself, as I think of it as medicine, the wisdoms that we glean for each year, is, the yin water nourishing her. What is nourishing her? Well, if she's open to it, her faith absolutely could be nourishing her. And wisdoms, like a guru, a sage, teachers are out there. There is that. And also community, her audience, her friends, and her relationship with herself. All of this feels very much almost like a soul's review. Okay. And then let's go a little bit deeper. What's going on this month of June 2023 that might possibly have further stimulated this conflict? And that would be the ox and the horse. The ox and horse harm each other, okay? And in their harm, fire is weakened. And we already know that she only has 2%. And so it's kind of like that flame is snuffed out. Now that's pretty dangerous. That's your heart, that's circulation, blood flow. So if she had any kind of an infection in the blood, that would make sense in this situation. And this is directly on her. Not only that, it's the luck cycle and her day pillar. So this is a hit of a harm with the horse in June, on top of the harm coming from her luck cycle. Now, here's the tricky biscuit for her, is that with this luck cycle being in conflict with her own ox self, it means that she has a propensity for the next 10 years to fall victim to all matter of things coming up against her. So what we want to look at are months and years coming up in which this conflict could be aggravated, leading to more health issues and an increased instability in her welfare. I would definitely recommend that she get off of all these injections, all this plastic surgery, calm everything down, focus on her health, and less on trying to look like she's 45 when she's not. She's just not. And I also will say, when you are looking at her personality, this is a force to be reckoned with. She is a badass woman, and she chases her desires. She's passionate, adventurous. She's flamboyant and stylish, everything having to do with the arts. She loves to surround herself with beautiful things. And, all of this being said, there's also a number of aspects of this dynamic with her chart that speaks of someone that has too high a drive for success and loves life so much, but lives it almost too richly, too fully. And this is somebody who is quick with words. Like, she will cut you down fast, but she'll also crack you up. She's got a great sense of humor. She loves to talk. She loves to help people. And the last little bit I was going to mention is that balance is everything to her. She needs life to be in harmony, or she gets all frustrated and in a funk. So I want to roll some of this back, because there is wisdom in every astrology chart that we can all glean something from. And what I want to say here, deep breaths. Like I said, I'm an ox person. And our culture here in America, at least, is push, 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 go, 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 do, don't stop, achieve, and keep achieving. If you've got a book out, get another one out and make sure it sells more. If you have an album out, make sure the next one gets even more sales, right? It's like we're always having this pressure to better ourselves, to make more money, to be more, do more. It's exhausting and it does us no good. And I will share with you that my journey the last 20 years has been building a kids yoga business, a little empire, all my own. I have a book on Amazon, A Child's Journey into Yoga. I've written a cookbook, the Nitya Living Cookbook. That's a vegetarian cookbook about eating seasonal, local, GMO-free, and organic, which is very much a big passion of mine, is eating healthy food. I did a kids yoga video back in 2012. At one point, I think right before COVID, I was in schools and daycares, gyms and yoga studios, teaching upwards of 20 classes in 4 days, Monday through Thursday, sometimes on Sunday. I will say, oddly enough, I wasn't physically exhausted teaching that many classes, sometimes as many as 7 or 8 in a day, going to possibly 4 or 5 venues in that day. Where I found myself was mentally exhausted, having to hold space for thousands of children and adults and teens and everybody, and now I live out in the country. COVID pretty much wiped my work away, and I have tried to resuscitate it in various ways, and finally this year I can see it. It's time. It's time to say enough. It's time to say, in yoga speak, brahmacharya, moderation in all things. It's great to be active. It's great to be busy. It's great to have passionate work that you love, that makes your soul sing. But I'm a little disappointed in myself that I didn't take the lesson of COVID and just let it go. I was devastated to lose all that work in a single decision by the government to shut us down. And it doesn't come back. Some things don't come back. And to mourn that and to accept that. Kind of like aging, right? And so, when you see someone like Madonna, who has been creating all this fabulous music for decades, and you see how her body is breaking down, her body is telling her, it's screaming at her all the way to the ICU, all the way down into that new hip. Enough. Not all of us are going to be like the Rolling Stones, playing into our 70s and strutting our stuff across the stage. there is a beauty in recognizing the flow and rhythm of life. That there is time to pause, to reflect, to breathe deeply. And then there's times to be busy. I have to say that the times when I am more busy, I recognize now how tired I am. And I wish that I had paced myself a little bit more, but that wasn't my journey. So that's one of the reasons you'll see more content from me in the fall, as I'm making a big, huge shift in my career. And anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Blessings to Madonna in her recovery, and a lesson to all of us to slow down, to listen to our body, and to enjoy the season of summer, which, what other season is a bigger invitation that even if you can't make it on a vacation, to give yourself a little extra self-love this summer and a little extra self-care. Be well. Thank you.